how to replace the gear and mounting ring and coupling for your Venta air washer. There's three assembly parts to the gear. You have your gear. In this case, it's for an LW24 or 14. How you know is that there's one tooth to that gear. This is a gear for a LW44. This has two teeth. And then we have the mounting ring. Looks like this, which attaches to the fan. And then the coupling, which attaches to the mounting ring and to the gear. These right here. Some typical symptoms that you could be hearing that your gear has gone bad is that you might be hearing a clicking noise, meaning that the teeth are either slipping on your disc stack in your lower unit, or you may see that the disc stack is not turning, or even possibly that the water level is not reducing. Although if the water level is not reducing, it could be that you have the proper humidity level in your environment, because remember, these only humidify as needed, keeping levels between 40 and 55%. Let's go back to the clicking noise. If you're hearing a clicking noise, it means that the teeth of your gear are slipping within the middle channel of the disc stack right here. From time to time they do tend to wear out. So if you're hearing a clicking noise, that's what it could be. Also, one way to maybe triage this issue of clicking is that these gears tend to spin the disc stack one way. Another way to kind of triage that clicking noise is to turn your disc stack to the reverse side. This should help. Sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, it means that the gear needs to be replaced. Your gear is connected to two armatures of the motor, and then you have your mounting ring and coupling that attach to the fan back here. One way to check to see if the gear is operating properly is that by spinning the fan blade, you'll be able to see the teeth in the gear move. Changing the gear. Within changing the gear, we wanted to press the two thumb tabs at the top of the upper housing. First part of the disassembly is opening up the vented areas on each side, kind of like a flower, and then opening the other two sides of the solid sides. On the right hand side, there is a channel for your plug for your motor. You want to unplug the plug from the motor for the plus units. If you have a classic unit, this plug does not unplug, and it is a fixed plug to the motor, so you need to unplug it from the wall and pull it through the channel through this way. That is for a classic unit. Now the motor comes straight out. The motor has two armatures that connect to the gear. In order to get that gear off, you could either gently pull apart side by side the armatures from the gear, or an easier way is to gently twist forward or reverse and then pull them apart. It's a very simple process. You just have to be gentle with it. Now the gear is disassembled from the motor. Now the coupling snaps into the top of the gear, which can be just disassembled by unplugging it like that. It plugs right into the top, just plugs right in. Then there's a snap ring that's attached to the fan. In order to get that out, you just need a butter knife, a screwdriver with a thin tip. Go into the top and unsnap it from the center of the fan as such. And there you have your mounting ring and coupling. In order to put it back on, you get your new gear, you attach it to the coupling, as so, pushing it in, making sure it's a tight connection, you should be able to do this. If you spin it with your fingers, the teeth should go up and down. That's how you know the coupling is in there correctly. Then you take the snap ring, snap it into place like such, and then you reconnect the gear to the armatures of the motor as such. Then you can test it once again by spinning the fan and making sure that the teeth move. Now we'll put it back into the upper housing, making sure your thumb tabs are depressed, and then making sure for you plus models or classic models that your power cord is facing into the channel that is open as designed. You can plug back in the power cord, putting it into the channel, folding the solid sides first. It should kind of lock in. And then taking your vented sides next. It should all come together. It should all piece together like a puzzle. And locking it in. Placing it in the lower housing. Making sure that everything is flush, kind of sealed. Then we plug it back in. Then we hit power, and there is how you would change your gear, mounting ring, and coupling. This part of the instructional video was how to triage and how to replace the gear and mounting ring and coupling for your Venta air washer. There's 3 assembly parts to the gear. You have your gear. In this case, it's for an LW24 or 14. How you know is that there's 1 tooth to that gear. This is a gear for a LW44. This has 2 teeth. And then we have the mounting ring. Looks like this, which attaches to the fan.